Howdy guys, we have a replay between darklionking and DeChris, which are the two people that we cast the most. I say we, but I mean me. Actually I mean we, but right now it's just me, because YaBro0's not here. So yeah, darklionking versus DeChris, because darklionking sent me a bunch of replays, and I put them all in my folder, so we keep casting him, and YaBro0 really likes DeChris and keeps picking his replays. So I feel sad that we're doing a DeChris replay without YaBro0, but I guess it was his fault for not showing up. So we've got grouping here. This is the grouping is okay against Shadow because Shadow won't erupt, and the Dread Charger will not nasty because the nasty costs 110 power and 180 power heal can fix it, and he won't kill any units, especially with the Dryad. Looks like this guy will get away actually. Oh, that's very good micro. This heal was, I think, probably not worth it, but the reason he healed was because he wanted to get his Windweavers. He didn't want to spawn Dazed Windweavers, and if he spawned them over here, they would take way too long to get all the way over here. So I definitely understand why he healed, and perhaps that was the right decision because it looked like using those Windweavers in the route he was able to get a lot down. But at least from a simple perspective, you know, the heal wasn't worth it. But it looked like it turned out to be a good decision. Something here you can notice that's kind of interesting. The multi-shot from Windweavers actually goes past their normal range, so they can shoot this guy without him being able to shoot back. So that's a cool trick from the Windweavers. We also have a Shaman here. Shaman spawned in the back. That's good to heal up units. We've got these guys running away, which means they'll take a little less damage from the Dread Charger. These guys are hitting the Dread Charger instead of finishing off the Nox. I would like to see them finish off the Nox. Especially since it looks like he just got a charge shot off. They could have prevented that. But things are kind of okay. Looks like DeChris, that was a good heal. That's one of the things that is really difficult when you're playing against nature, is that you can't leave small units alive. You need to very aggressively target them and finish off a unit so that you don't leave people alive to heal. So yeah, it's sort of devolving into a Nox spam versus a Windweaver spam, with but the roots from DeChris are doing quite a good job. Or sorry, the roots against DeChris are doing quite a good job. DeChris, it looks like, does not play Phase Tower, which I think many players approve of. We have the Spearmen here who are just sitting here. Now they come out to activate. darklionking was probably just a little concerned about where the Nox Troopers were going and wanted to head them off. DeChris goes tier 2 immediately. I believe this is because the Shadow Nature tier 2 is very strong against the Nature tier 1. So he's probably trying to force darklionking to go tier 2 as well. We see the Spearmen come and they're getting to the Nox Troopers, and they do take one down, and we've got to retreat now to come back and go tier 2 with darklionking, who's playing Stonekin. Yay. Stonekin is cool. Right? Yeah, it's cool. We've got Dark Elf Assassins, which are not actually terribly effective against Nature Tier 1 because of Hurricane. So, yeah. Hurricane, and then we have a counter Hurricane. Alright, because this is Shadow Nature, yes. So it's actually okay. The Hurricane looks like was not hitting these Spearmen, so they're going to do good work against the Dark Elf Assassins. And darklionking decides to send a Spearman over here to attack the Nox Trooper. I don't agree with that move, actually, because I mean, he didn't even finish off the Nox Trooper, which was the point. And I think he could have finished off the Dark Elf Assassins, especially because Spearmen are S counters. So if he wanted to attack the Nox Trooper, I would have suggested he just go all the way and you know, use the 10 power to switch them so they're effective against medium units. We got Rogue Nightcrawler over here, which is, I think, offering a good distraction. It's obviously not going to succeed, but it made darklionking spend 120 power over here, which will give him a little bit of a hand in this fight. Looks like it's still not doing anything. Okay, this is interesting. darklionking plays a Lightblade in tier 2, which is Lightblade is just a really good card. So I can't say it's a bad decision. I think it's if you got a room for, if you got a space for it, then take it. We've got the root because DeChris really wants to keep Dark Lion King out from his base because he has no Frost Orb, and if you have no Frost Orb, then your primary method of defense is to keep the enemies away from your wells, because once they get to the wells without a Frost Orb, it's very difficult to keep those wells from dropping. Hurricane is not friendly to Dark Elf Assassins, especially when there's a lot of them. We've got the Nightcrawler Frenzy to try and take out the Burrower. Looks like it will, no, not quite. Not quite take out the Burrower. But now we've got, yeah, the Spirit Hunters are dying very quickly to the Dark. We're not. Our heals are good. I'm very intrigued by this Light Blade though, because it seems like it could do a lot of good work, especially by distracting other units. We have the Aria of Corruption, and it looks like Dark Lion King is trying to call DeChris on his bluff, which it looks like is a bluff. He's like, I don't believe that you actually have power to do anything with this this Aura of Corruption. Which is a lot of the times what happens, is that a player will play an Aura of Corruption, and they're like, I don't want to kill you, I just want you to stay away from my base for 40 seconds because I know you're afraid of it. And in this case, Dark Lion King was not afraid of DeChris's Aura of Corruption, so that was good calling on the bluff. And you can see here how like, even like once damage, just even if it's accumulating slowly, without a Frost Orb, it's very difficult to repair the damage without just killing everything. We have Burrower here, so DeChris lost a well. Looks like he's going for a counter-offensive. And, oh, DeChris had a well extra, I guess, most of the game. Yeah, so I didn't realize these were unlimited power wells. Oh, I guess they're not. Okay, I'm confused. This says unlimited. Huh. So anyway, distracted. Lots of Burrowers. We are about to see some proper DeChris Burrower micro. Stonekin is pretty good though, because Stonekin has Frost Orbs, so Stonekin is not afraid to let, maybe a smidgen afraid, but it's not catastrophic if these Burrowers get to the base, because they will, you got Kobold Tricks and Glacier Shells and things like that. One of the things that is important to note is that DeChris is attacking multiple different spots. That's because if he's attacking the same spot, it's very easy for Dark Lion King to just it's very easy for him to just continue to repair that well. But by splitting it up, he makes him spread his power out between them, and yeah, so good micro and good game plan with the Burrowers, and you can see just the sheer force of the Burrowers is able to drop the well. This one may drop. The life weaving on the Burrower is an interesting decision. But with knockback, I think it's just not, as we can see, it didn't work. DeChris is also attacking here because he can micro better than I can keep track of. And at the same time, he is taking a Night Guard because he wants to take over the Stone Tempest, which is somewhere. Where's the Stone Tempest? Anyway, Night Guard, and where did the Stone Tempest go? Oh, here's where it went, because he wanted to get away from the Night Guard. This looks like it's, yeah, Stone Tempest is good counter to Burrowers because it knocks them back, but unfortunately it costs a lot of power, and it's not really feasible to summon a Stone Tempest for every single Burrower. This well should have been repaired earlier, but it's not. Oh, okay, Nightcrawler dies to the Spirit Hunters, and this Burrower comes back to attack things. The Stone Tempest is on his slow way back over here. Meanwhile, Nightcrawlers are amassing. Yeah. I understand why YaBro0 likes to watch DeChris replays. They're just, it's so nice to watch, I guess, all the multitasking. He's like, I'm gonna hit you here, and then go back here, and then go back here, and we're just gonna like dance all around you. So, yeah, this is gonna be tough. Spirit Hunters, always a good option. Now, notice that he waited until the Dark Elf Assassins were basically done with their ability, and DeChris decides to use a Hurricane to stop the Dark Elf Assassins. Also over here we see a Kobold Trick. And we see a Stone Tempest spawned. And oinked. So yeah. The heal on this Burrower, again, it's mostly because he wanted to take ground presence and because he thought that he could drop this wall very quickly. A slight micro thing that was not quite done is that the Spirit Hunters had like 1 health each, and that Night Guard had to make 6 shots to kill each one individually. If instead he had used his squad of Dark Elf Assassins and got 1 volley, each shot from 1 Dark Elf Assassin would hit like 1 squad from the Spirit Hunters and would have killed them in 1 volley, and so that would have been just a small piece of micro that would have made DeChris's defense just a tiny bit more effective. You know, maybe like 100 damage is how much that would have done. Hello, Galio001. I am doing well. Remind me what your in-game name is, or I guess your forum name. So yeah, looks like both of these walls survive with just a little bit of health. But oh, and darklionking has units to go on the offensive, so that's cool. We see the preemptive Night Guard because again he wants to take over that Stone Tempest. It's a very strong card against Shadow Nature. And at this point in the game, actually, darklionking has more wells than DeChris. Notice DeChris is spawning Burrowers to attack, to defend this Burrower. That's because the Burrowers are swift, and so after they attack and defend, they can go off and launch an offensive of their own. However, it looks like this well is dropping. Without a nature orb, this well is dropping. So, good from DeChris. You can see how well the Stone Tempest is in offense. Notice that he's not using the Stone Tempest to hit the buildings because it doesn't do a ton of damage, especially for the power cost. But what it's good at is pushing back those night crawlers so that the Burrower can do his damage uninterrupted. Over here, looks like we're pulling back to launch or to defend this attack here. Everybody is at low damage, which means we're probably going to see a heal here in a second. Nope. Okay, no heal. Spirit Hunters shot, I think, the wrong Burrower. That's again just a teensy little micro mistake, and you can't expect these players to be perfect in every game. This well dropped, or this orb dropped, which means darklionking is gonna have to rebuild here. Unfortunately, this Burrower is going to be. I'm curious if he's gonna go for the monument or the well. I suspect the well. Oh, he healed the well, but he's still going for it. Personally, at this point, I would start pushing into the well really hard, the monument really hard, because if you can take away that monument again, the game is over. But I mean, DeChris is just a better player than I am, so perhaps he's making the correct decision is to hit this wall for as much damage as he can get and just get a power advantage. Oops asked, have I got access to the alpha? Yes, I do. That is how I am able to view this replay, is because I am an alpha tester, and part of the working features of the alpha is that I can view old replays. Hopefully soon I'll be able to play myself, but I can't exactly say when that will be. His Burrower is healing up a little bit and grabbing the well. Meanwhile, DeChris is using Ghost Spheres, which are good against Storm Singers. And then it looks like he'll just launch a little bit of an annoying attack over here. We see Spirit Hunters. Again, Spirit Hunters are not super effective against nature because of heals. But, yeah. On this front, things are sort of settled down and quiet. The Stone Tempest is just like, nope, you shall not pass. And most of the action, I think, is going on over here. Yes, I can do crazy stuff in the Forge, actually. If you guys have requests, after we stream a couple replays, I can do Forge requests. that's always a thing I'm willing to do. We have an army of the Spirit Hunters, because this guy's just with 7 health, and I think nobody bothered to kill him. Which is, it's interesting when you think about it, because this, one Spirit Hunter is basically as effective as a full squad of Spirit Hunters, but at the same time, 2 squads of Spirit Hunters is just as effective as 1 squad of Spirit Hunters. So, I guess that's an interesting dichotomy that, like, neither player particularly wants these dead or alive, because they're, like, sort of redundant anyway. Shadow Phoenix with a nice heal beforehand, and that other Spirit Hunter definitely absorbed some damage from the, I think it absorbed some damage from the Phoenix, and saved it all from dying. So yeah, Stone Tempest is hitting the Night Guard so that it can't switch, but we get the oink, and I'm sure we'll see a switch immediately. Nope, okay, counter oink. Also at this point in time, Dark King has more wells, so that's cool. Spirit Hunters are hitting the Monument. That is a curious scenario, because they do basically no damage. I feel like Spirit Hunters might actually be the lowest DPS unit in the game. Don't quote me on that. Maybe Snapjaws are worse. But I feel like even Snapjaws have like 200 attack. Second Stone Tempest to kill the first one, or to kill yeah, everything dies. Aura of Corruption's good. This time it was not a buff. And power, we've got 16 coming from the Void on Dark King, and 17 coming from the Void on DeChris. And it looks like power levels are close to equal. Dark King, I think, has an advantage, so that's cool. We have an attack going on over here in the chat. One creature that all RB, I don't know what RB is, but one creature that I would like to summon to real life. I feel like I generally wouldn't want BattleForge creatures running around in real life, because they would be weird and dangerous and destroy my house. Rogan Kale, maybe? He might be cool. Take his sword. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little lame. I can do Forge requests, but can you guys, like, wait till I'm at the Forge and I'll do the Forge requests? I will not remember everything until then, so you'll just have to repeat yourself anyway. Okay, Stone Tempest attacking the S units. That's one thing that's very effective against knockback units, is to use attack with S units. Because the S units, you splash and you hit a couple of them, but you don't hit all of them. So you see the Dark King has changed tactics, and instead he's hitting the M unit instead of the small ghost spears. DeChris is launching an attack over here this way. And this attack looks like there's a lot of units to defend. We've got a lot of ghost spears over here. So we've got SM units attacking SS units, and the SS units are attacking the well. That's a curious position. I feel like these guys should just kill the stone shards, but maybe DeChris isn't paying attention. We've got a Storm Singer that is attacking the Thrower, and Dark King has defended his well. Meanwhile, the counterattack goes on again. This well looks very close to dropping, actually. Actually, this well will almost definitely drop because it's so low on health. Actually, no, I guess it heals. I was gonna say he should play a Hurricane to prevent it from healing, but it looks like he spent his power on this attack. So, and that's fine because this definitely dropped. Because when a well heals, usually it waits until you've got enough power to heal it, and then it takes all your power. So when a well heals, you can usually be sure that your opponent has 0 power at that point in time. So that's a neat trick you can use, is that you have a wall that's attacked, you pay attention to it, and then you notice that when it heals, your opponent has no power. So that's I guess, a trick that it's a trick that I would only ever use against really high rated players, because obviously people that aren't really high aren't paying attention. But, so it's probably not a useful trick, but here's the trick. If you're playing really high rated players, what you can do is you can tell your well not to repair until you have maybe 200 power, and then you tell it to repair, and then the high rated player will, a lot of the times, he'll just rush you, because he'll be like, oh, you got 0 power right now, but actually I've saved up like 80 power, so I can defend whatever he throws at me. So yeah, little mind game trick that you can use if you ever play like high tech and you somehow manage to get this position where you're, you know, in an equal position-ish. This is also, yeah, this is probably dropping. Yep, it's dropping. Yeah, good game from darklionking. Defenders, I'm gonna launch my obligatory comment that I think defenders are very bad. But good game from darklionking. Game is not over yet. It is almost there. Not quite. DeChris is going to make darklionking finish off this well. That probably means that he's kind of upset. Like, no, you will take this last well from me. Alright guys, thanks for watching.